I will want to immediately declare this a victory for the Ghanaian people. It is not a personal victory. It is a victory for the Ghanaian people. It is a victory for organized labor. Indeed, but for organized labor supporting this crusade and declaring a nationwide strike, a total lockdown, if you like. And I don't recall the last time in our history that we saw such unanimity on the labor front. To have the TUC, the Ghana Federation of Labor, the Ghana Medical Association, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, all the teacher unions, pre-tertiary, tertiary, to have utility workers unions, every labor organizations, including JUSAC, the Judicial Service
Mortuary workers.
Mortuary workers. I don't recall.
GPRT of PUC.
Probably the 1948 riots. What gave the final push for independence? If you look at the history of our country, so labor ought to be celebrated, and those who have had doubts about the ability of Ghanaians to get recalcitrant, intransigent, belligerent politicians to listen to the people. This is your answer. That real power belongs to the people. Because on this matter, the president refused to listen, met organized labor, and rather sought to convince organized labor to come along. We filed questions in Parliament. The Minister of Employment came to tell us less than 2 weeks after the MPRA statement instructing SSNIT to suspend the processes and that they were going to conduct a review. Suddenly the MPRA, according to the Employment Minister, became the most efficient organization the world has ever known. That for such a major transaction, we're talking about multiple bids, multiple laws, many issues raised by the transaction advisor, and I'll be coming to the transaction advisor's report shortly. In less than 2 weeks, the Employment Minister wanted us to believe that they have conducted a review, everything was above board, and that he can tell us authoritatively, to quote him verbatim, as he said in Parliament, that MPRA has asked SSNIT to proceed. So all of us then said, look, enough is enough. We must let the government know that sovereignty resides in the people. Real power belongs to the people. You cannot continue to take us for a ride. And so this morning, I am here to salute all workers of Ghana. Organized labor has done a phenomenal job. Yes, I started this, exposed a lot of angles, intercepted a lot of documents, but if we didn't get the support from the Ghanaian people, from organized labor, the thousands who poured out on the streets on the 18th of June, which served as the catalyst to raise awareness, to let those who are engaged in this obnoxious, obscene transaction know that the Ghanaian people will not sit idle and allow this deal to go through. All of those people who responded to our call, their sacrifices, their toils have not been in vain. The chiefs, that was a demonstration that was led by chiefs, and I don't recall the last time in our history to have our revered Ghana chiefs, the Wulomai, all the chief priests, say that, look, we are not just going to give you our blessings and see you off and we return to our palaces. We will participate to the very end and will be with you to the presentation of your petition to whoever is sent by the president at the Jubilee House. I celebrate the chiefs, the young people of our country, those who were tear-gassed. It's only last week the last victim was discharged from the Legon Hospital, and I want to tell all of them that clearly their sacrifices have not been in vain. And when this chapter of Ghanaian history is written, all of them will feature they can look back and say that when duty called, when the national interest was at stake, when workers' pensions, because you see, these hotels fundamentally were built by workers' contributions. Their returns on investment is what will take care of workers when in their twilight, when all of us can no longer have the energy to work. We expect that these assets will take care of us. And how government thought that it could cook such an arrangement without broad-based consultation, without involving parliament, involving the workers, and without transparency, is mind-boggling. So we celebrate the Ghanaian people. Now let me also emphasize, Alfred, and this is very important. Many people have said, oh, is this not just an interim political gimmick? That are we not doing this because we are in opposition now, and that perhaps if the buyer was NDC, you won't have me oppose this? I want to state emphatically that, look, this is not about partisanship. All the organized labor leaders who issue statements, nobody can convince me that all of them vote in one direction or belong to one political party. I think that would be an insult. So what we are doing is about the national interest, it's about principle. And I have been consistent for more than 16 years. You remember when I went to the Supreme Court? I have always said that public officials, politically exposed persons, should stay away from the purchase of state assets. Let me announce this morning that the private members bill that I'm working on, I'm sponsoring with a number of lawyers, we are in the final stages. We are calling the bill, today I can announce the name of that bill, we are calling it the Public Assets Protection Bill.
Public Asset
Protection Bill. And that law, which I'm hoping that the president will assent to it, it will prohibit all politicians and politically exposed persons, whether directly or indirectly, from purchasing state assets. Indeed, when you leave office, under the draft, we are saying that it should take 5 years at least before you can go near any public transaction. And this covers everything, whether it's a car, which is for the public, which is for the state, whether it is a bungalow, whether it is land, whether it is forest, whatever, because we have seen all kinds of things. I don't want to remind viewers this morning, it's very early in the day, what we have seen ending up in people's wills and all of that. All kinds of state assets, strategic national assets, which have been hijacked by politicians. We are saying that we are going to pass this Public Asset Protection Bill. The other thing which I like about this bill, which we will be putting forward very soon, I will subject it to public scrutiny. Do you know, Alfred, that if you are to go to our ministries, department, and agencies today and ask for a list of state assets, you won't get it.
You will not get it.
You won't get it.
The list.
The record keeping is so poor and it's been deliberately made so.
To whose benefit?
Do you know that as we speak, they can't even tell us how many bungalows we have in the name of the state? They can't tell us. So this bill, and I have insisted, we are going to have a provision which will mandate the publication of all state assets. It must be put online. So we will know. When you start selling, we will know that this is a public asset you are trying to sell. We want every state asset documented. The last time in Parliament we asked, and this has happened twice, we've asked the lands minister to provide a list, a total breakdown of state lands across the country. It's been impossible up to now.
They have not
been able to provide it. Can you believe that?
The state lands.
State lands. The Lands and Natural Resources Minister could not provide that. We also asked how many have been sold and who it has been sold to. He's not been able to provide it. He said we should give him time.
I recall that after this incident with the late Sir John, the ministry said they were going to bring, in fact, publish the persons who have bought state lands right from 1992 to date.
We asked in Parliament.
Do you
we don't have it.
information?
We still don't have it. The last time we reminded him, he responded with a threat that, do we know what will happen to the political class?
If we get that information, because a number of you have bought state lands.
And I said, so what? So what? Look, the political class should know that these things, these conducts, will one day be made public. Because I've never understood how. Look, you come into public office, these assets are put under your care, protected for all of us. Actually, what you should be telling us is how well you have protected these assets and how you have added more value, how you have increased these assets. Look, when was the last time, Alfred, you heard of the current generation of leaders having acquired a land bank or some strategic asset that we are saving for the future? As for us, we only came to sell. Our generation, that's all we came to do. So all of what Nkrumah left for us.
It's not our generation. I mean, you and I,
not our generation.
The generation.
The generation of the current leaders.
Yes.
Yeah. You know,
they didn't come to act. They came to sell.
Yes.
The current leader. I'm only saying that
a generation of sellers.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the assets that we inherited. Land banks, forests, environmental, horticultural sites, all of them today, instead of us at least to preserve. And Kwame Nkrumah's era, the population was below 5 million, and yet they could really secure even land for bungalows. They knew that the civil service will expand. You will need more workers. Your population will grow. When they were building hospitals, they knew that you need to have doctors and nurses in close proximity. When there are emergencies, they can respond. And they made sure that they secured land. Today, all of that land, go to Rich, go to Kolebu. Everything has been sold. So this law, this private members bill, is going to insist that there has to be a database of all our assets, all lands, all cars, all bungalows. Have you been following my recent exposés?
On the
Parks and Gardens.
Well, the minister said
when I summoned the local government minister, I mean, he cut a very lowly image. I was impressed with his sincerity, but you could tell that he doesn't have support in the government. A private developer goes to put containers on Parks and Gardens, the only horticultural zone we have in Accra, at Cantonment, that he has bought it. His Danny Ike Real Estate Developers Limited is for him. Can you believe that? So Parks and Garden staff go to work and they are told that, hey, your days are numbered. This is for Parks and Gardens. I mean, we are not even thinking about our human survival. Then you have seen what I put out a few days ago on the W.E.B. Du Bois Center. I'm glad that an intellectual is here. W.E.B. Du Bois, the first black doctorate graduate from Harvard, who left his U.S. citizenship, came to join Nkrumah to reconstruct this country after independence, took on Ghanaian citizenship with his wife. Du Bois Center is a mecca for African scholars, blacks in the diaspora. And yet, intercepted agreement, 50 years is been given away. 50 years. The people have 2 years to take over to think about how to raise the initial $50 million. And then they have control. They appoint 6 members to the board.
What you have seen, they are not coming in with money. They are
it's another work and pay arrangement.
A regime
as has been consistent. Yeah. So everything in sight is being sold. Then, have you followed what has happened to the judges? Judges woke up one morning recently and 13 bungalows opposite the American embassy gone
out in what?
When the private developers who told them that, look, they are the new owners, started demolition, judges ran to their fellow judges for an injunction that, hey, we have nowhere to stay, save us. So they secured, I have the court document here. These are the judges. Judicial Service of Ghana are the plaintiffs against Lands Commission, Friends Oil Company Limited, the Attorney General. Unprecedented. Judges running to judges to save them, to save their bungalows.
And this was What was the title of that?
Oh, it's a recent 27 February 2024. It's going now, ongoing. Will you believe that these judges secured an injunction on the 28th of November 2023, according to the court documents? The private developers defied the judges. They said go to hell and proceeded to demolish 3 more judges' bungalows at number 7 5th Circular Road, Cantonments, number 18 5th Circular Road, Cantonments, number 36 5th Circular Road, Cantonments. 13 have been demolished now, and the judges have sued the Attorney General, the Lands Commission. They say that they want their bungalows, their land back. Can you believe that? What is going on in this country? Everything is under attack. Everything is being sold.
They should sell the whole country.
I mean, what is happening?
They should sell the whole country.
What is happening? Parks and Gardens at Wa has been sold. Now there's a tussle between the local government minister, after my expose, and the private developer who is building a filling station, a gas well, and they are issuing threats. They send me threats, videos. They said they will deal with me and all of that.
Who sent you that?
The private developers.
The private developers.
And I can tell you authoritatively that the work I have done, all of these so-called private developers are fronting for top politicians. Top. Because look, what will make a private, so-called private developer defy judges?
Court judgment, yeah.
I mean, and a court judgment. It should tell you that these people they are fronting for very high place.
Let me understand
people in authority.
So in the case of the judges' bungalows that were demolished, 13.
Yes.
The injunction was secured in November 2023.
In November, 28 November 2023.
The demolition was done,
and they defied it. And they defied it.
Was done after.
Yes, when they saw, to the credit of the judges, when they saw that some activity had begun, private developers, marauding invaders have just, descended upon their bungalows. They immediately went in to secure this injunction, and it was defied. And 3 more bungalows, as we speak, 13 bungalows. The full list is here. 13 bungalows, and I can run through the list of the judges who were occupying these bungalows.
Perfect.
Justice F.G. Kobie, Justice Anthony Abada, Justice K.A. Ofuriata, Justice Robin Batu, Justice Yao Apau, Justice Stephen Kanyoke, Justice Julius Ansan, Justice Akamba, Justice P.K. Jaisayo, Dr. Naomi Apia, C.J. Honyanuga, Justice Vida Akoto Bamfo, Justice Lorinda Owusu.
The very own Honyanuga we know.
Yes, look at prominent
Akoto Bamfo we know.
Akoto Bamfo, Akamba. I mean, prominent judges, Jaisayo, Justice Apau, the sole commissioner, you remember? All their bungalows are gone.
So
and the judges have attached in the affidavit here, they've attached the pictures, how it's been demolished, and how the people are building fast.
Can you show this to the...
Building fast. I mean...
But
I'll share them with you. I'll share them. I have some copies. I'll let you have them. I mean, incredible.
And the ordinary people, we don't know this.
No. Everything is being sold.
They should sell Ghana.
Everything in sight.
Sell the whole country.
Are you aware as we speak?
Let them evacuate all of us to Netherlands.
Hold on a bit. Yes, please. Mr. Ablakwa.
Yes. Are you aware that in addition to what the judges have gone through, the prison service has also run to court in a battle of their lives to protect the Boster Institute's land at Roman Ridge? That one too is gone. Somebody shows up. Baumia's senior advisor says that he owns that land. It was given to him by President Kufuor many years ago. He now wants to take ownership.
Where the Correctional Institute.
Yes, the Boster Institute. His name is Professor Piedu. And the work I have done on this matter, I had to last week. 2 weeks ago, invite the Interior Minister to assure Parliament that he will give the Ghana Prison Service protection and support them, because they were left alone. The walls had been demolished. Boster Institute, Roman Ridge, and every prime land is under attack. So you see, this matter, people have tried to make it, perhaps the Honorable Okujeto Abraham has some personal issue.
So your interest
with
in
somebody.
These matters are questionable. That's what.
Yeah. I mean, look.
So what's your interest in all this?
My interest is that state assets should be protected. That politicians should stay away from purchasing state assets. And I have been consistent for the better part of 2 decades. Very consistent. Look, even when I lost the Jacob H.B. Lamte case, that's 6-3 decision. I have the judgment here. And so for Akufu, we have to celebrate her. She said that, look, they are missing an opportunity. So for Akufu predicted it.
Former Chief Justice.
Yes, the Chief Justice. She said that, look, they are missing an opportunity to look at the bigger picture. I can read what Sofa Akufu said in her dissenting. She was with the three who dissented. Very, very quickly.
Very, very knowledgeable. Very.
I mean, Sofa Akufu she's exceptional.
She's the chair of the University of Ghana Governing Council.
Very exceptional.
Very.
She said, look, firstly, I have become extremely concerned of late. That in the handling of enforcement of our constitution, specificities, manner in which it has been pleaded, the big picture being constitutional interpretation and enforcement, and this necessary legal impact not only on the individual parties to the suit, but more importantly, also on the generality of the Ghanaian citizenry for the present and the future. It seems to me sometimes tends to become of secondary importance.
Yeah.
In my humble view, it is incumbent on this court, where a matter comes before it, by way of a writ invoking its original jurisdiction, to throw through the plain request to identify the core constitutional questions in issue, rather than just what the parties claim to be the matters. Unquote. That was a golden opportunity. And I'm sure that the judges who have lost their bungalow, it would not have happened.
Yeah.
And the marauding, looting that is happening all over the place. Now let me come back to SSNIT very quickly.
No, but just a sec. I just want to help. I'm saying, Sammy, you see, recently when President Mahama met with the press,
yes,
I mean, he openly said that he will not allow his appointees to be buying these things. I think that he should be a little bit more of also a Kagami, who will put it out there that those of you who are buying these things, go back for your money, because if I get the opportunity to ascend to the political throne, I would make sure that those deals are reversed in the interest of the nation. He must begin some of these things.
He has put out a statement on that.
He must do some of these things.
Said
let them buy, but when you get the opportunity,
he says there will be investigations and repossessions.
Yes,
that's what
reverse them.
Former President Mahama said.
Reverse them.
But there was a question.
No. I totally agree with you, because it's like
we can't sell Ghana.
There is no sacred grove any longer. Look, everything is on sale. The whole country is on sale.
No, but you see,
let the buyers come and evacuate all of us. And
so because
it's incredible.
Instances
that take us to Netherlands
that you raise,
because they are selling everything.
It's about the state in the end. Lands that belong to the state, properties that belong to the state, to the extent that in some instances a court,
there's even a court injunction, and it's defined,
and
these are judges, high court judges.
So what is the status of I'm interested in this judges matter? Where are they now? Where are they being housed? Do you know?
You remember that when the National Cathedral was going to be constructed, they demolished
a number of
bungalows, a separate one, those around near the Parliament enclave, so we had to spend money on rental for them, and then they began a construction. The former Chief Justice began constructing new bungalows. So a number of them are being moved to those new bungalows. But look, I mean, why should judges be putting up in rental accommodation? Why should they be struggling? Why should, look, of all the stress that judges go through, why should we we are adding land guardism to their mandate? They have to be thinking about how their bungalows, their land will be protected, and they have to go to court. I don't recall when in our history we have seen anything like this, or where in the world you see anything like that. Judges, so the Lands Commission, the Attorney General, the President of the Republic, all want us to believe that they didn't know what was going on. Meanwhile, the people, the so-called private developers, Frames Oil and Co., all claim to have valid title, and that is why they have demolished. Who gave them that title? Do you recall that this whole marauding conduct, demolishing and taking over every prime land inside, do you recall that it has even created diplomatic tensions for us. Properties belonging to the Nigerian High Commission, you remember, were demolished.
They're rich.
They tried to take over in 2020. 2022, 2 years ago, I had to put out another expose how the Bulgarian embassy was demolished. As we speak, Alfred, as we speak, the Bulgarians are waiting for their compensation. The question is, who is going to pay? Who is going to pay? Because the government wants us to believe that those who perpetrated this demolition cannot be found. They cannot be located.
I see.
Joe Hagan, a gentleman called Joe Hagan, who collaborated with the president's appointee at NDPC, who masterminded this demolition. So as we speak, the Bulgarians, not too long ago, the Bulgarians came into town. You know, their ambassador has concurrent responsibility over Ghana. He's based in Abuja. Came in, met the Foreign Affairs Committee to remind us that they are waiting for their compensation. The Nigerians, you know how much we spent to replace the demolished property? So, look, you ask yourself, is there any elder in the room? Is there anybody who still loves this country? That is why I am so passionate about this private members bill, the Public Access Protection Bill, as we are calling it. And this has nothing to do with partisanship.